Senator, I'm a currently serving member of the Utah Air National Guard.
Thanks for your service.
I volunteered for until 2018, and I realized at that time that I was violating my oath to the Constitution by deploying unconstitutionally. And that's a big concern for me. I want to defend my country, but I don't want these unelected bureaucrats at the Pentagon, without accountability, sending us to war. There's an effort, state by state, it's called Defend the Guard, that would, I don't know if it's the right solution to this, but until Congress does its job, we're going to keep doing this. And so Defend the Guard is an action by each state that would prevent its National Guard from deploying unless Congress declares war. And I think that's a really good thing. When I talk to lawmakers in Utah, they're all afraid the Pentagon will cut funding, defund the Guard, which I think is a valid threat. I think the Pentagon will do that given the chance. They'd rather defund the Guard than, follow the Constitution.
Yeah.
Will you, as a senator, fight to prevent them from defunding the Guard? I've been told that Congress can't do anything. You just give money to the Pentagon, and they decide who gets it. That seems wrong.
Yeah. Thanks for your question, and thanks for your service. Short answer to your question is not familiar with the particular strategy they've got in mind, but I agree with you. Under no circumstances should Congress ever allow the Guard to be defunded. Look, our best warfighters come from the National Guard, particularly the Utah National Guard. You all who serve in the Utah National Guard punch way above your weight. Pound for pound, dollar for dollar, you guys produce far more for the American people than any other unit of the U.S. military that I know anything about. And so thank you for your service. You are right to be concerned about Congress declaring war. It's been something that I've been consistent on, and it's been something I've taken some heat for, and also something that's helped me build a lot of really good bipartisan relationships. There's a great photo of me and Bernie Sanders in a full-on embrace in the Washington Post a few months ago, because he and I both agree there's a problem with sending people off to war without declaring war. One of the great things about Bernie Sanders and I have had more success with the War Powers resolution than anyone in the nearly 50-year history of that legislation in pushing back against instances where we're getting pulled into wars. We have been fighting, for example, effectively fighting in a war in Yemen, a civil war in Yemen that is not ours to fight. No declaration of war, no authorization for the use of military force, no tangible benefit to the American people unless you add inference upon inference over and over again to do that. And so, yeah, I think this is important. Bernie Sanders likes to quote Federalist 69, in which, and I can't quote it quite as great as he can because it's with a Brooklyn accent, it sounds much better. It points out that Alexander Hamilton in Federalist 69 differentiates between our system and our former national government, the one that was based in London. Really, our government still is, we pride ourselves on our constitutional system as unique, and it is in many ways, but it's also predicated in many material respects on what England had prior to the Revolution. Hamilton points out in there that the requirement that Congress declare war was a sharp break from the model we had with England, where the monarch could take the country to war. It was then Parliament's job to figure out how to pay for it. But the monarch, their chief executive, had the exclusive power to take them to war. He explains why that was a bad idea, why we adopted our system, where the people's elected lawmakers, who were, again, it's the branch of government most accountable to the people at the most regular intervals. It's also important for the same reasons I was talking about in connection with the REINS Act. We have the most dangerous power among the three branches of government in the legislative branch, including the power to declare war. And that's there for a reason. When we're putting your life on the line, we're putting American blood and treasure on the line to fight wars, we owe it to you. We owe it to the entire country to do it right. So thank you for raising that issue.